welcome to day 4 of the 12 days of Christmas series. I hope that you are enjoying the projects that everyone is creating because we are having so much fun. We appreciate all of your comments, and what I have created today is this hutch, and I did make my own SVG file, and I will have a link to it in the description box below in case you would like to make your own. If you do use my SVG file, I would appreciate it if you would make sure to give me a shout out, because I am providing it for free and it did take a lot of time to make it. This is also a design team project for ASC Craft Supplies. I'll leave links to the stores in the description box below, and remember to use my coupon code Michelle10 for 10% off. I did use the Stamperia Classic Christmas paper for this. It's an absolutely beautiful paper collection. I loved working with it. It's a very good quality paper. And the hutch, it is very similar to one that my grandmother had when I was growing up. Instead of putting the shelves on the inside, I chose to leave the shelves out and put this Christmas tree. And then I made some little packages to go around the bottom. I'll just tilt it back so you can see in. And then I used some of the chipboard pieces from the collection to decorate the inside with the stockings. And on the front, the part that says Merry Christmas, I used a file from the Silhouette Design Store. And then I just took the greenery branches and made circles to make a little wreath the size that I needed, and used some ribbon and sequins and little faux peppermint candies on those, and just used some twine to attach those to the doors. And the doors would open and close, but I have the banner blocking it. But I'm loving how this came out. And the drawers open as well, and I haven't put anything inside of them yet. I use this beautiful holly paper on the front, and the doors are trimmed with some tree paper that is the cream color, and then on the front it is the red, and it has this beautiful scene that I wanted to use on the hutch. I just thought it was absolutely beautiful. So pretty. And I did use acetate for the doors and then some brads for the handles. And the drawer pulls are from Prima. I've had in my stash a very long time. So if you would like to make this, stay tuned for the tutorial. I wanted to show the Cricut users how you would upload and size and put the score lines in Cricut Design Space. If you are using Silhouette software, you do not have to do anything. It automatically imports as the correct size and with the score lines. So we are in Cricut Design Space. I'm going to select Upload and Upload Image, and then I'm just going to drag each file and save it. And we'll do the door pieces and select Save. And I do have the sizes in the title of each section of the hutch. And there are 4 sections, and they are listed in the description box below. Okay, so we have each section in Design Space. I'm going to select on the hutch base. These are the hutch bases. So this is the front, the decorative front, the back, the sides, the top, and the bottom. And the first thing I want to do is size it, and the width is 16.342. And make sure the little lock is closed and hit enter. And so now we have our correct size. I'm just going to reduce this a little so I can see all of the pieces. And now we're going to come over to the right, and we're going to click on all of the cut lines that do not have a colored shape beside of them, and hold the shift key down, and we can select more than one. So I have the shift key down, select cut, 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 and just go down through the side here and select all of the ones that do not have a colored shape beside of them. These just have a black line if you can see it. So then we'll go over to the upper left-hand corner, select the little arrow beside cut, and we're going to change those to score lines. There we go. And whoops, I'll drag this over where we can see it. And now I'm going to right click and select Ungroup. I'll just move this decorative pieces over to the side. So the light pink are the decorative pieces. And we're just going to select both of these. So you can see the score line now. That was a cut line, so it would have cut off the top piece. And we'll go down to the bottom right corner and select Attach. And I'm just going to do this for each piece, making sure that we select all of the score lines and select Attach. And we'll do this piece. Whoops, we got too many. Okay, and select Attach. And do the final piece and select Attach. So now I'm going to save this as Hutch base pieces. I'm not going to worry about the size because it's been sized and attached. The pieces have been attached together. So select Save. And then on the new one, we will select Upload and the door pieces. And we will make sure our little lock is locked, and we will size these, and the width is 12.761, and enter, and that is correct. And so we only have 2 score lines on this one, so they are, right there's one, hold the shift key down and select the other, come back over to cut in the drop down and select score. Okay, now we're going to click on all of our pieces, right click to ungroup, and we're going to do the doors with the hinges. So I've just grouped it and selected Attach to hold that together, and Attach again. We'll save this as Hutch Door. Save. Okay, so we will select New and Upload, and we will do the drawer pieces this time. So there are our drawer pieces, and the lock is locked, and we're going to size these to 12.708 and select Enter, and it makes it all the correct size. I'm going to make them reduce the size here so I can see everything. And then I'm going to come over and select all of the cut lines to see. So hold your shift key down and select all of the cut lines that do not have a collared shape. I'm just going to scroll down so I can get all of them while I'm holding my shift key down. Okay, I think that's all of them. We'll go over to the cut in the upper left-hand corner, select a little drop down and make those score lines. And now I'm going to right click and ungroup. And now we will select each piece with the score lines and the bottom right and attach. And we'll do that to all pieces. And these are the drawer fronts, and there are no score lines on these two. And the pink are the decorative pieces for the drawer fronts. Attach. Do the last one here. Touch drawers. Enter. We will do the top inset piece, and we will just click on it, and we will size it, and we'll just need to put in the 17.876 and enter. Just want to make it, reduce it so I can see all of the pieces, and we'll go over to the right, select all of the cut lines that do not have a shape beside of it. And I am holding the shift key down. and go to the cut in the upper left hand, select the little drop down arrow and select score. And now we'll right click and select ungroup, and now we are going to attach the score lines to the shape. I'm just going to make sure I get that score line there, and we will select attach, and we'll do the same thing here. Whoops. Slide that over. And for some reason, this is picking up the larger section. So what I'm going to do is select this, hold the shift key down, and then select each one of the score lines. And you can see over here on the side, they are highlighted. So that means they are together, and select attach. And now I will just try to group all of these together and select attach. I'm not sure why Design Space does that sometimes, but like I said, you just hold the shift key down and select all the pieces that you want to work on, and then we selected them and grouped them together. I'm going to save this as Hutch Top Inset and select enter. So that is how you change your cut lines to score lines and can cut this out in your Cricut machine. I'm going to go through and we'll go over the pieces, and I have glued the decorative paper onto the base piece just to save some time. So we will go through how many pieces you should have. These are the drawer fronts, and you'll have 2 of those and 2 decorative. And then this portion here makes up the drawer. It'll attach to the back. So we have 2 of those. And then this box forms what the drawer will slide into. So we have 2 of these. And this is what will form the top part of the hutch. And in the one that I have shown, I chose not to use the shelves because I wanted to use the Christmas tree. So it has 2 shelves, and then I have 2 decorative pieces, and I may change this out to a different color. I'm not sure yet. So I have it in pink for now, and I put 1 door together so you can see what it looked like with the grid, and then these are the pieces for the grid. I'll set that to the side, and then this is the bottom piece. This is the front of the hutch. This is the back of the hutch, and this or these are the sides. This is the top, and then this piece will lay on top of this piece of the hutch. So this one will be covered up so it doesn't need decorative paper. And let's go ahead and put our base of the hutch. So I'm going to set the decorative piece on the front to the side, and as well as the top, and we will get out our back. I'm going to flip it over so the decorative, is showing on the outside. And I'm going to try to remember to score these in my SVG file so you don't have to trim. Just scoring or trimming along the edge here. Let me draw. I'm trimming where the score marks intersect, and you want to be to the right. You want to have just a little bit of room so you don't cut the visible part once we fold these back. We'll score these again. Okay, and what I'm going to do is, can you see, hopefully you can see my score line. I used my silhouette so you can see my score marks. In the silhouette, I have a Cameo 3, so it puts little cut marks for my score marks. And what I'm going to do is line this piece up right up against that score line, as well as line it up with the bottom. And that looks like a good start, so I'm going to try to get this off Just peel off a little bit more and make sure it stays lined up so it stays straight. And right there it looks good, so I'm just going to hold it with my fingers. Make sure it looks good. That looks really good. It's right up against that score line, which is what I want. So then it folds over and we have a nice clean edge. And we'll do the same thing to the other side. I'm kind of clumsy with this brace on, is not helping me any. I have tendinitis. I developed it a couple months ago. Oh my lands. I've had carpal tunnel before, but this tendinitis is driving me nuts. It hurts sometimes really, really bad. So I'm just going to line this up along the bottom and up against the score line again. And this time I pulled my paper the right way. The other time I had it backwards. So if you have it coming towards me, made it a little bit easier. Okay, that looks good. So we're going to smooth that. And so we have these pieces together and we will set them to the side for now. Our top piece of the hutch, and I have the edges scored really well. And when we're putting this together, I want to fold these up and I want to fold the piece over up against it, and then we're going to glue this tab down. We'll do this first one here, and I'm going to use glue for this. It's just a little bit easier. Grab my bone folder. And that is nice and flush, and I want to make sure it has a good seal. And we're going to do this to the other three corners. These are what are the boxes that the drawers are going to slide into, and they're going to go together the same way. We're just going to put it up against the one piece and glue the tab in the back. So we want to make sure they're nice and tight, like so. And I like to use the bone folder or a scraper just to make sure that glue is adhered, and we're going to make sure we're putting the tabs on the outside. It'll make a nice finish. When we're putting the drawer in, it will not catch on the tabs that way. Just remember to get them nice and tight. We're going to do the same thing as we did to this box. Now we have our boxes together. Now we have the box part that makes up our drawer. So this part will slide into here. And what we're going to do is the same thing. We're going to glue the tabs on the outside of the box like so. We'll just do these real quick. Okay, we're going to do the same thing to this one. We're just going to put glue on the outside of the tabs here and fold them to where they'll close on the outside, like so. And what I like to do is, I like to put this box in here, just to make sure it makes this a little bit sturdier when we're attaching it to the frame of the hutch. Let's just slide this one in here, and it fits together really nice and snug, which is what I like. And we'll put score tape on these pieces right here. And I want to put score tape on the bottom pieces as well. Got the score tape attached to our flaps, and I think what I'm going to do is start with the top, and I'm just going to make sure everything is lined up, and I will make sure to pull my score tape paper down this way where I can see the top and the sides really well. And I'm just going to gradually push that down and I'm holding the top piece like so it doesn't move, and then we're just going to gradually pull this down a little bit and then finish pulling it and attach it like so. And we'll do the same thing with the other score tape. I think I want to do the bottom and then the sides, but let's go ahead and fold our score tapes in like so, and we'll have it tacked down in a few places. It'll take a little bit longer by just doing it a little bit at a time, but I don't want to mess up at this point in putting the hutch together. So I'm just going to make sure it's lined up on the side, on this corner, and I'm just going to reach down and I'm going to adhere the tab underneath. So I squeezed the part where the score tape, where I pulled the paper up, and now I'm going to do the same thing over here, and I'm making sure that this corner is lined up. So I'm just going to squeeze that, and I'm going to go ahead and pull this a little bit at a time on the bottom. Go ahead and pull that loose, and there's a piece of score tape that flipped up, so I'm just going to tuck it back in with my tool. Oops. Okay, there we go. And that looks good. I'm just going to rub that together with my fingers. And now I'll do this side, just making sure it looks good and lined up. And just a little bit at a time. Okay, just carefully, like so. And do the same thing, just ever so slightly pulling the paper and making sure that it's lining up. Okay, that looks good. Now I'm going to take my bone folder and just go over all of those tabs just to make sure we got a good seal. Okay, that's the inside of the box. Looks good. And so now I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to pop the side pieces off since they are so small. We'll go ahead and pop these off. And on the top and bottom portions, we will just fold that one forward, and we'll go fold this one forward. Okay. And we will do the drawer now. Let's get it lined up. I'm going to make sure our drawer is going to come out. Try it this way. Okay, that looks good. Got that side. And now let's get this other side lined up. Get my pokey tool to get the tab to go down. Okay, that looks good. And now we want the bottom portion here to go. Just gonna it came loose because I haven't adhered it really well yet, so I'm just going to line the bottom up, tab, and we will get the side piece here as well as the top. I'm just going to reach my finger, kind of holding it up there, and now I can work on pulling this piece loose. Okay, like that, like so. And our box will still slide out, in and out. That. Okay, and now we do our final one. Like I said, I'm just taking the end pieces off. Take the end pieces off, and I'm just going to fold back a little portion of this, and I'll fold it in towards the middle, that way I can reach it. Like so. Okay. It's folded back really well. And turn it on its side again. It's just a little bit easier for me to line these up like this. Okay, I think that looks good. I'm going to squeeze that end. And now we'll turn around here and do this end. Try to get the tab to go down like so. And we lost our piece of paper. Here it is. There we go. And we'll pull that one. It looks good and lined up. Run my fingers and pull this one out. I'm just kind of making sure, raising it up just a little bit. And now I'm going to take my bone folder on the side and go around and make sure this is adhered. So that is how we get our boxes on the inside. That is the hardest part, I think, of the whole process. And now we're just going to do a dry fit with our boxes, or the front and the sides. And for this, we're just going to go ahead and peel back. Let's start at the bottom. Here, if I can get a hold of it. There we go. Just going to fold part of it back and then just set this over like so. And I'm lining it up with the bottom and along the edge like so. Just going to hold the top and pull ever so gently on this. Whoops, it's catching. Okay, and that looks good. So what I'm going to do is open it back up, and I'm going to run my bone folder over like so. And one other thing I like to do is I like to put glue on the back of these, and it'll just help make the hutch really, really sturdy. I'm going to wrap this around and go ahead and start taking off the score tape. And I'm going to just crease that one more time. And I'm just lining the bottom feet up of the hutch along with the edge, like so. Go ahead and peel that back. It's lined up, it looks really good. Okay, that looks really, really good. And I just want to make sure it's square. Whoops. There we go. And what I like to do is put it on my mat here and see how the corners are square in the, so that looks good. And we want to push our glue back. So now I want to, and I do have several pieces here. If you want, when you're cutting this out, you can make the grids all one piece, but I wanted it to be the base collar and then have the pretty paper around the edge. So I did add some more layers to mine. What I'm doing first is I'm gluing my decorative front piece to the grid. And we'll just need to glue the outside. Now we will glue our piece to the acetate. Looks really good. And now I'm going to put I'm gluing the door piece on, and when I flip it over, the hinge will be to the right. So I want to make sure I have it this way. So I did fold the hinge up just to make sure it will open and close, and it does. And now we'll put the other grid on. And now I want this part of the paper to show, so I'll cover up the pink. And then I'm going to fold the hinge back this way just to make sure it will open and close since we've glued all of our pieces on. We're going to take our doors, and I'm going to glue the hinges to this piece here, like so. I'm going to put glue on my hinge, and I'm just going to slide it underneath, like so. And I'm just going to line the door up with the top of the decorative paper. And then I'm just going to push this down to get it to adhere, like so. And the door will still open. I'm just going to let it dry though. And then we'll turn this around and just double checking my hinge, make sure it's got a good crease and a little dry fit. And that looks good. I'm going to put a little bit of glue along this edge. And we will tuck the hinge underneath and line it up with the other door, like so. That looks really good. Okay. And now we have our doors, and I can feel a little bit of something catching. I'm just going to take my scissors right there. It's just overlapping a little bit because there's so many layers. Okay, and yeah, that's better. Let me do the other side. I can just feel a little something grabbing, and it's on this side, I think, this time. I trimmed my doors a little bit just because the acetate, I think, was sticking out past, so now they close. I think that looks really good. So the next thing I want to do is the top, and I'll just put some glue here. So I'm going to go ahead and miter this corner just a little bit. I had forgot to do that, so I will fix that in the SVG file. I'm just going to take this off. And the top piece doesn't have any tabs. Put some glue here. Okay. And I'm just going to set it down and make sure it doesn't go too far in the front or the front won't come on. I've just attached that. And now on the bottom we have these 4 tabs. I'm just going to fold the tabs all back as I peel the paper off for the square tape. And I am going to put a little bit of glue over top the square tape so it'll slide. And this will make a nice, really good hold to, you know, keep it square. And I am going to put some glue on the bottom drawer as well. And I'm just going to push this in like so until it hits that drawer. I'm just going around and pushing my score tape got caught. There we go. So now we have the base of our hutch. We are able to glue the front piece on with the doors. So we're going to put some glue here, and the front of this will cover all of this where I'm putting glue. So I'm going to put a generous amount over. We're just going to line that up. It'll just set on top of it very nicely. I'm going to take my bone folder and just run along the bottom here to make sure it's adhered. And just run my fingers all along again here at the top just to make sure it is attached. We should have put the shelves in before we did the very top piece. So I will put a note in the video of when you should have done them. Oh well, you know, hey, it happens to all of us. And the shelves just fit in like so. So I'm going to line them up where I want them, and the doors will still close. And I think I'm going to actually just put one shelf, and I think I want it to line up where the middle of my, I want it to go where this piece is right there. I think I just want the one shelf. So I am going to put a little pencil mark in the very back so I know where to line it up, like so. Okay, and then I can reach in there and erase it. So I am going to use glue for this so I can slide it around, and we'll put glue on the back, and we'll put glue on the sides. There's 4 flaps, and I'm just folding them down, and I'm going to put glue on the front, the back, and the sides, and I'm just going to kind of smooth it out with my fingers. And be very careful that you don't get it on your doors. Like I said, I'll put a note of when to put it in, when to put the doors in. And I'm just going to come down ever so slightly, and I will cover up my pencil mark and make sure that looks even. This side is a little bit high. Just going to pull that down just a little bit. So, see how that looks. Okay, that looks perfect. And now I'm just going to take my bone folder and gently go over this. I'm just checking to make sure that it's level. That looks good. And I think I like the one shelf. It still gives plenty of room to put goodies on the shelf. And then I have this little decorative piece, and for now I'm going to go ahead and glue this onto the front flap. That's why I did 4 flaps. And then I'm just going to run my finger along here. And like I said, do this before you put your doors, the front piece on. It'll be so much easier. And how I do this is I'm going to drop those in. It's not a very good method probably, and I just line this up how I want these, the door fronts, like so. And then I'm just going to put glue along this drawer right here, because I figure if something would get a little bit wonky, and make sure you don't get glue too close to the edge because you don't want your drawer getting stuck. And I'm going to line this up along, right along the bottom of the decorative paper, like so. I'm just going to rub that, and then we will do, making sure it's lined up where I want it, and then we will put some glue down here on the bottom. Line this one up. I'm making sure they're all lined up on the sides. That's how I want it. And then we're going to go like this, and then we'll pop out our drawer like so. And I'm going to just really burnish it really well, and that'll get all the glue nice and spread out and no air bubbles. So it's my little cheat method. And you can see I have glue coming up, so I did have enough glue that it's nice and secure. This is our finished hutch. If you are using a free SVG file from me, I would appreciate a tag or a mention to my channel. Thank you so much for watching the tutorial. If you have any questions, just out to me or put it in the comments section below. Make sure to check Rosa, Robyn, and Debbie's channels today to see what they have created. To make sure to leave your comments. And to be entered into my giveaway, you need to be 18 years or older, a visible subscriber to all channels. You must give us a thumbs up, as well as leave a comment daily. And remember that our winners will be picked randomly from any of the 12 days. And thanks for watching, and have a great day. Bye-bye.